it doesn't get there or something like that, or if they have like questions or
No,
whatever.
or maybe Rick's phone is, or I can't call direct or something.
Oh, okay,
Right.
yeah, that makes
Because
sense.
my phone right now has no cord. But they
Oh,
put the cord way on the other side.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
so are you in danger of running out of battery?
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
So is your phone? You have the cord, but it's somewhere you can't reach at the moment, right?
Well, they threw the cord. They pushed the cord back where I can't get it.
Right, right. So you can, if you want to, you can bring it to the nurse and she'll get it for you, right?
Yeah, but I don't know.
I think you should just get more than one cord
Yeah.
because that's what I do.
That's a good thing.
Because sometimes I like to plug in my phone in the front of the room. Sometimes I like to plug it in the back of the room. You know, depending on the day.
Oh, hang on a second.
Oh, who's trying to recite the Lincoln thing?
I don't know.
Yeah, 7 years ago. Hmm. I wonder
Well,
wonder who he had to attend to. Hmm.
I think speechwriters are overlooked and they don't get the appreciation they deserve because some of those guys are doing amazing work. We
Yeah,
see the finished product out the mouth of the statesman, but we don't see the process by which those words are put together. And
yeah. We always assume that the politician wrote it, but when the speechwriter wrote it, yeah,
right. Yeah, yeah. I think, and I think there are times when that happens, but I know there's probably other times that a good part of it, maybe not all of it, comes from the heart and the mouth of a speechwriter. Yeah.
yeah. And of course, they have to custom tailor it to the kind of message that the person wants to convey themselves as, but that might not actually
Right.
be the
Right.
politician's actual character. And so that's why they'll say, oh, politicians are always lying, they're always trying to act like there are savior figures, and yet they actually
Right.
do nothing for us. They're actually really mean to us when we try to contact them. They give us silence sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think it's easy. I really believe that the best people are good politicians and good cops, and the worst people in the world are bad politicians and bad cops.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because you get a corrupt person in like in Kenya.
Mm-hmm.
They had the same leader for like 20 some years.
Mm-hmm.
Kenyatta apparently he was elected
Mm-hmm.
democratically, but
Yeah.
apparently he rules with an iron fist, and
Mm-hmm.
and everybody thinks he's a
That
great guy.
yeah, that's like gang members who think they're cops.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
believe that this man whose last name is Kenyatta, I think he was the first Democratic elected president of the country, and he just retired a little bit ago, so like 20
Yeah.
years.
Well, see, they also have a problem like that in El Salvador, where this guy was the first like centrist that wasn't like far right or far left. So they basically just let him like replace the judiciary and everything like that because they figured that he wasn't going to go either way, right or left. And so he stabilized the country, but now he's starting to develop authoritarian tendencies because he's been in office for so long. I mean, people still basically think of him as a hero, but yeah.
Well, El Salvador, that just changed, too. The guy that's in there now hasn't been in there more than a couple, 3, 4 years.
Oh wow. So
Yeah.
wasn't the guy whose last name starts with a B?
I know what I think so. All that I know is that they were having trouble trying to take care of the gangs, and they put this guy in, pretty much gave him a lot of control.
Mm-hmm.
He built this huge prison, like 40,000.
Oh yes, yes. I think it is. It is the same guy, and he reduced crime by 95%.
Absolutely. Well, and that's what Trump is trying to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The cities, think about it. The Republicans, they may not be Christian, but at least they
Mm-hmm.
give lip service to Christianity and to being Christian. The Democrats, they make their money, they make their reputation on doing the opposite. Okay,
Yeah.
they come across like the Bible was for a previous time
Mm-hmm.
that it's hate speech.
Mm-hmm.
That homosexuality should never have been
Mm-hmm.
forbidden. There's nothing wrong with trans surgery on a kid that could never really truly understand what the consequences of that is.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with drugs. Come on, there's nothing wrong with drugs. Come on. There's nothing wrong with graffitiing the whole city. There's nothing wrong with pouring gasoline on people in subways.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff.
Yeah, crazy. Yeah, totally. Yeah. And the thing is, I didn't realize how bad things were actually getting until, I actually, ran smack dab into some of those kind of, attitudes in this city. I was it was culture shock for me because I didn't think any of that sort of thing existed, in America, where they want to consider themselves like liberal, but it's like, well, the way that I would say it is, there is such a thing as a white black supremacist, or a black white supremacist, I should say, like black people who act like white supremacists, but but like they're different from black nationalists, so to speak, because black nationalists are like really traditional, like Democrats and stuff like that. But then these black white nationalists, they want to go back to like a certain time and idolize, say, hate group type of people, but they don't know that, they're probably gonna be going down the tubes too, um, if say those kind of elements were to take over, because like I don't necessarily believe that the origins of, say, the resurgence of hate groups are actually from within the United States. Stuff that I've read,
I don't think so.
stuff that I've read suggests that there is a faction of Israel that is working with a faction of Russia, that is working with a faction of the UAE, that is working with a faction of the U.S. government, and they're trying to create some kind of police state, if you will.
I wouldn't be surprised. When they have those conferences over in Switzerland,
Hello?
where they do that. But
I'm sorry, I had you on mute. I didn't even know. I don't know what happened. I couldn't hear you.
Yeah.
when
Well,
they have these conferences over in Switzerland, like the G8 or G6, whatever.
are you also talking about the World Economic Forum in Davos?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a mountain town. Yeah, it's hard to get to. Yeah.
Right. And they're all trying to quote unquote take care of the environment, but they all have their private jets. Isn't that weird?
Well, that's the other thing. So they have taken some criticism for being too corporatocracy oriented, so to speak. And so some of the corporations like have been trying to basically amass so much property that essentially they operate as an oligarchy without outright, you know, taking over every piece of land and every other company's property and stuff like that. You know, um, what is it? I forget what I was
Yeah,
going to
if
say.
you only own, if you only own like 10 or 20% of something, but you operate like a block and
Mhm.
try to sell or
Holdings firms. You know, BlackRock owns like about 40 corporations and stuff. They had all their logos at once in a picture. I was so shocked at everything that BlackRock actually controls. I mean, I don't even know if those organizations are like their own independent things. And then as far as Amazon Web Services, remember when that big crash occurred because so many websites, so many companies were dependent on that?
not really.
Okay.
How long ago was that? Was that?
Oh, Amazon Web Services. It hosts websites for
Well,
big
how you said
corporations.
how long ago was that?
Oh, I want to
Was the
say
big
that
crash?
was 1 to 2 months ago. Yeah.
No, I don't think. Well, maybe I think I do. Yeah, something. Yeah, but how long did it last? Did it last very long?
Oh, okay. Let me Google that. Um, okay. Uh, how long did the Amazon Web Service crash last? Okay. The significant Amazon Web Services outage in October 2025, primarily affecting the U.S. East 1 region, lasted around 15 hours, disrupting major services like Slack, Snapchat, and Amazon.com from early morning until evening before returning to normal operations. A DNS error in the DynamoDB system caused a cascade of failures, bringing down many reliant applications and websites. Key details of the October 2025 outage: duration approximately 15 hours from early morning around 2:48 a.m. ET to evening around 6 p.m. ET on October the 20th, 2025. Uh, okay. Cause a conflict between two automated systems updating the same DynamoDB DNS record, leading to an empty DNS entry and service failure. Impact: widespread issues for thousands of sites and apps, including e-commerce, streaming, communication, and smart home devices. Wow. Other notable outages, it says December 2021, a major multi-hour outage affected numerous popular websites and apps like Disney Plus, Venmo, and Spotify due to API console issues. That's interesting. Well, that one had a different cause than this one, but still, the fact that so many large corporations, depend on an even larger corporation all the time, that's, I don't know. I'm very skeptical about the whole business to business kind of thing. I mean, it's a great way to make money, but I think it's very risky when you have seemingly like half of the economy under you, and obviously if your business to business fails, then everything that depends on you fails. Well, anyway.
Well, look at the Texas when their electricity went down. Remember that in the winter, so 3 or 4.
Was that the one where the pipes froze and basically the city had to replace all of its pipes because they broke
No.
because
I'm
they had
talking
no.
about the whole state.
Oh, okay.
People
Um,
were relying. People were relying on the wind and the
yes,
solar, and it got so cold, and the
that it shut down those solar
wind,
power plants, right? Yeah, I do remember
yeah,
that.
and the windmills, they froze. They wouldn't turn anymore, and people were literally frozen in their homes. You know, they didn't have no way of getting heat.
Yeah, well, I had watched some environmental oriented videos that said that that a lot of these wind and solar farms and stuff like that, now they always have to have gas, natural gas backup, or some kind of oil backup or something like that, because there's just so many times when they can just run out of power, and like especially in the winter they just can't really charge because there isn't all that much sunlight or wind.
Yeah, did you ever see how big those blades are? I saw them being put on various trailers. Like they don't fit on any one trailer. They fit on like maybe 2 or 3 trailers, and each trailer has maybe like 18 wheels on, so they got 18, and then sometimes they have to have like two tractors on each end, or at least one on each end. They're huge. They're just tremendously big to put in place. And
okay, it says
it's a nice concept.
Yeah, the major Texas power outage linked to wind and solar issues happened in February 2021 during Winter Storm Uri, when frigid temperatures caused widespread failures across the grid, including frozen natural gas wells, pipelines, and wind turbines, leading to blackouts for millions and significant loss of life. While renewables failed, conventional power plants also struggled, and the crisis highlighted systemic issues with infrastructure unprepared for extreme cold. Mid-February 2021 caused a severe winter storm, brought extreme cold, overwhelming the power system, impacted over 4.5 million homes, lost power, and hundreds died. Holy crap.
Yeah, I know. They had, I feel bad for companies. Like, another example that was horrible, that was the tsunami in Tokyo. Well, in Fukushima, in 2011, they decided to put the generators that kept the nuclear cores cold, right on the coast. So when the earthquake caused that tsunami, and the tsunami came in, it put out the generators. Now, those generators, if they were on top of the other buildings or more inland, they didn't have to be right next door, and not on ground level. There were all the barriers that they put on to keep the water out failed, and over 2,000 people died. Now, those people had, they couldn't just do hara-kiri. They just couldn't walk away from their responsibilities. It must have been hellish for them to face people like, you look what you did. You should have known better. You should have known better. Probably they should have, but.
Well, those California fires, they always seem to be caused by non-well-maintained PG&E electric lines. And my cousin who lives in San Francisco, she posted an outage map for PG&E showing that a good deal of San Francisco was out, and she said, "Oh, they have enough energy to start a fire, but yet they don't have enough energy to actually make the power work like they're supposed to. They're just being all cheapo,
Right. Well, I don't know if you guys ever thought about Trump. Well, way back when Reagan was in office, they talked about Star Wars,
Yeah.
And then Trump's was talk about Space Force, and they actually have a military unit that has that name, and people have uniforms, and that's all they do. They don't do anything on water or on land.
Yep.
But all their emphasis is in space. So.
Yep. It used to be just part of the Air Force. Yeah. Because like the Air Force would do light space missions.
why could they not use what they call GEW or directed energy weapons to start fires and stuff?
Are you talking about Maui?
Well, Maui, but no, actually, no. It's more like the Paradise Fire.
Oh, okay. Well, the thing is, the thing is, I think they've been doing that sort of stuff for ages. Obviously, no proof, but the thing is, if they really did dig up, UFOs from ancient civilizations, that they've, probably adapted that technology by now, and they probably, knew it was there to begin with, because. I mean, if they belong to some kind of secret bloodline that claims to be from back then, well, then they've been controlling the world's politics for thousands of years. Why do we think that nothing really changes no matter who's in power? It's because it's essentially the shell of the same system that they could have had like 8,000 years ago or more. That's my guess.
I know that when the Bible talks in Genesis, the people, the early craftsmen, that what they have one that does this, and they have one that does that, and they have one that does this, and that one that does that. They that in some ways they're like Prometheus, and who gave fire to people, and then God punished them. Well, that tradition that probably comes from the Bible, where these people, these fallen angels, that devised this technology, and they gave it to people to use. It was stuff that distracted us from a simple love of man and love of God.
Oh, angels who were not in their correct power state.
Absolutely, yeah. They had to go somewhere.
Well, I was thinking of it in terms of atoms. Like chemistry, where when an electron falls to a lower power state, it releases energy. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It could be. I honestly think that probably it would have been God's intention for mankind to have been content on a peaceful agricultural status, basically for life. Where you back in the very beginning, they didn't really have to even eat farm. It was all prepared for them. Like you just eat right off of the trees. You did. Everybody was vegetarian. They didn't have thorns and thistles. You didn't have to work too hard to come up with what you ate. And then we got distracted by all this stuff, all the free stuff that we had. I don't want to live like an animal. I want to live in a big house. I want to be able to have a chariot. I want to be able to be faster than anyone, be taller than anyone, bigger, richer, so on. All these comparisons, they wanted, it divided people up. And, I'm sorry that happened, because it really makes me feel good when they come up with these discoveries of people living in the jungle, and they live the same way as their ancestors thousands of years ago. Just about.
Well, they say that there's a tribe in the Amazon that guards the secret passageways to an underground metropolis that's like has advanced technology, like from really old times, like I guess prehistoric times or something like that.
Right. This one guy was I think getting ready to expand his garden, so there was he had to cut back on this like hillside or something to make it level. And when he did that, it opened a doorway into an underground city. I just read this and
Mhm.
showed pictures of it where it's like 18 levels.
Mhm.
At least 20,000 people could have lived in it, and it would have maintained a steady temperature. It would
Mhm.
have had ways to get rid of all the smoke if they were using fire in there. It was just really an amazing thing. And they said that there's no way to really say with any kind of certainty just what is underground. I
Mhm.
mean,
Yeah.
how many other cities might there be just like that one?
Yeah.
And people needed, because when you get a raider, you get like
Yeah.
the Huns or the Muslim guys come down in your land.
Mhm.
You got to be out of there.
Mhm. Yeah.
It doesn't mean if you want to live underground forever,
Mhm.
but you need to have a place secret,
Mhm.
stocked with what you need,
Mhm.
so you can get out of Dodge
Mhm.
while they destroy your surface,
Mhm.
and then you come back
Mhm.
after they
Yeah.
they themselves go on to
Mhm.
better pickings, or
Yeah.
they get beat up themselves.
Mhm.
It's amazing what is underground.
Yeah.
They can't really tell how they got rid of all that earth. Imagine 18 levels. That's a lot.
Yeah. Well, I used to have a book that argued that there were like 6 levels worth of graves um, in a certain spot, and beneath the Mayan level, they supposedly found the Lemurian level of mummies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What is that word that you used?
Lemuria, or the hidden
Oh,
continent
okay,
of
I get it.
Mu.
Okay.
Yeah, and they supposedly were, to the right of Australia, and they supposedly, before they sank, migrated to Mexico and stuff like that, and sort of connected, sort of like the Asiatic culture slightly with the Mexican culture, similarity in designs and stuff like that. Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
But
and then
before the flood, go ahead.
they
Go
used to
ahead.
say that the Lemurians were like, tall white aliens with silver hair, but they presided, equally over various race peoples, and they had apparently a civilization that lasted 25,000 years ago and stuff like that. Um, yeah, and supposedly they have things like amino acid computers that can read your health state and tell exactly what you need to be at optimal health, and then you know materialize that in a vial for you to swallow, something like that.
Yeah. If you think about what they have available right now, is pretty cool. But it
Yeah.
would be really neat to find out if that was possible way back then.
Mhm.
I know I'm
Yeah.
going to probably make you guys shake your heads. Like, are you serious? I don't believe that Earth is any older than 6,000 years. I believe that all the brainwashing that there's been to try to get us to believe that Earth is uh, billions of years old and the
Mhm.
universe is billions of years older.
Mhm.
All of that could be explained away because the Bible is supposed to be God's word, and God has given us hundreds and hundreds of prophecies that were right on. People who thought that there was no such thing as Elijah or the places that are talked about in the scripture, they found all of these places.
Mhm.
Like the giants that are
Mhm.
were the results of the sons of God marrying the
Mhm.
daughters of men. They thought that was a bunch of crap. Well, they found bodies that are up to 14 feet tall.
Mhm.
Okay, they said that Noah's wife's body was found over in Turkey there, and she
Mhm.
was 14 feet.
Mhm.
And they're all across the country, in America even. they found these people on not just one different tribe, a number of different tribes.
Mm-hmm.
Some were really nice and some were horrible. And one of the tribes was so bad that it was kind of like the Aztecs. The Aztecs treated this surrounding tribe so badly that when the 140 Chinese people with their advanced weapons landed there, they were able to conquer the whole of the Aztec Empire because there was almost nobody willing to fight for the Aztecs.
Oh. Well, that's because the Aztecs did like child sacrifice to the sun. I don't know if you read about that.
Wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it wasn't just child; it was men too.
Yeah.
It was men too. Hey Rick, guess what?
What?
They would.
I can't guess.
They would have they would fight. Okay, they would take a soldier that they conquered, and they would chain him to a something like a pedestal, and then around him would be other unchained Aztec soldiers, and so there'd be like maybe 3 or 4 or 5 against one. Okay, and anyway, so they would and he's a good guy. He could took out any number of soldiers, but then eventually he got tired enough, and they ended up killing him. But guess what they did? They eat his heart, and they would take his skin off and process it in such a way that they actually could wear his skin.
Holy crap! That's like what they do to beef. Holy crap! Like a bull or something, you know.
I know. I know. And for these people that hate Columbus so much, they really have no idea just how vicious, some of these civilizations were.
Yeah.
And there were a lot of
Did you ever hear the movie Midsummer, which is about like an old Nordic ceremony where like this girl gets her boyfriend to go with her to this ceremony, and then they end up like being sacrifices to the beginning of the summer god or whatever.
Yeah, I saw a movie something like that. It was about the Wicker Man, something about the Wicker Man.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
And there was in Ireland, I think there was or on this island near Ireland, there was a murder, and this inspector was sent there to investigate. And this whole thing was a big farce, just to get him there. And every year they would build this big, like 20, 30 feet structure out of wicker. And in there, they would put a person. And then they would set it all player. And he was the one picked for that particular sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm glad that I'm a Republican. I'm glad that for the most part, we tried ever since Lincoln, ever since the party's been in existence. It's only been in existence since the 1860s. Before that, it was the Whigs, the Democratic Republicans, the Know Nothings. Isn't that crazy? How would that even call that? The Federalists.
So you were researching that stuff, or you're saying those kind of movements have come back? Because Heather Cox Richardson was talking about the Know Nothings on her podcast the other day, and also, of course, I had researched the Federalist Party alongside that as well. I guess the American Party was the one that was known as the Know Nothings, and they had this idea that there was a Romanist conspiracy. Yeah, and the other thing is, I also learned on Facebook that during the Civil War, um, the South was more hoity-toity and supported the royalty and the Catholics and the High Anglicans, whereas the North supported more of the the Protestant kind of things. And there was something written by Jefferson Davis where he said, basically at any cost, he would refuse to associate with, any such of union because he thought that, the North were kind of like degenerates, if you will, that didn't subscribe to the fancy formalized rule of royalty.
Yeah, I kind of. Yeah, I figured it was probably.
What, Rich?
Oh,
I'm getting care, so let me mute and I'll come back.
sounds
Okay.
good.
I don't know. Apparently, during the 1800s, beginning of the 1900s, the Republicans were in control of a lot of things. And when you were in control and you don't have proper oversight, and they let you basically do what you want, because I guess they trust you, that can be misused very, very easily. Apparently, there were people during the Civil War that were responsible for getting weapons to our troops. Okay, they cut corners. They sold guns that wouldn't work properly, and other things. And they were not. They didn't always get the proper kind of uniform for the kind of weather.
Oh yeah, and you know what? They also said in the Civil War there were entire units working for the North that still received their orders in German, of all things.
Wow, yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
So the Civil War, like the American Revolution, was really a world war. There were just so many groups from around the world involved. Everybody wanted their hand in the pot, basically. And of course, it was a great struggle of the British to try and get a hold of America in the first place. They fought 4 wars against the Dutch. The funny thing was, I discovered that because instead of typing in Trump, I typed in Tromp, Tromp, and then found out that this Tromp was a Dutch commander in one of the Anglo-Dutch wars. And then, of course, later on, of course, there were the Boer Wars in South Africa, and it's like the British were always pitted against the Dutch until the Dutch decided to basically give up all their holdings, and then the British went against the Russians for a long time. The Great Game, and then Britain had to give up all its holdings basically, and then I guess the United States was supposed to sort of take over that role, if you will, as we are pretty much still, the reserve currency of the world, and we appear to be dependent on the petrodollar.
But the scary thing is just as Japan for World War II in the Pacific in 1 week, largely in one day, Pearl Harbor Day, China has been sitting on plans to do the same kind of mass attack for years, for probably decades.
You mean on Japan?
No, on us.
Yes, the 100-year plan.
Yeah.
I saw that in the Epic documentary. Yeah, Epic Media has it. Yeah.
It established the Great Eastern Cooperation Zone or something like that. Well, China doesn't apparently, if you go back far enough,
Mm-hmm.
they don't recognize any country but their own.
Exactly. It's the 15 dash line versus the 10 dash line. Yeah.
And also they like the Muslims, and I think what was other
Mm-hmm.
uh,
Well,
Russians.
you do know that supposedly, what's her name, Tulsi Gabbard had planned an invasion of China. That we should essentially take them out before they get too strong. In other words, because they're realizing that China is getting ahead of us in so many different technologies, partially because they actually whipped
not
that
true.
information from our own corporations.
Well, no, that's true, but
I know that they.
No. They got
have a lot of
supersonic
their-
missiles. They got supersonic missiles that would take at least, 10 seconds in order to find those because of their phase changes. We can't track them with normal radar. And then China also has a fusion generator that basically is nicknamed a small sun. They're further along in fusion energy experiments than we are.
Right now, apparently they are really having a lot of issues. So,
Mhm.
have you been following them at all?
Trying to, but it's hard to find anything that doesn't present them in a positive light, except for, say, our own agents coming back and saying, well, a lot of us were wiped out because they conferred with the Russians and the Iranians. They found our secret communication system back in 2015, lost pretty much all our CIA assets in China, and because even sometimes all of the waiters at a restaurant where they were supposed to meet with the informant were CCP agents. So, I mean, and that's of course really sad. And yeah, and of course the other thing was there was a somebody who was working for like the embassy of the U.S. in China, and he said he and his wife had moved to China for his job, and then he claimed that she would go into the closet and start sobbing randomly because you know she felt the pervasiveness of the surveillance around her, and she constantly didn't feel safe. Yeah, because whatever surveillance feedback she received from the system, like through whatever she was browsing online or whatever, seemed to indicate that they had deeply personal information, like maybe 10 times the depth or amount that, say, even the United States would collect with, say, Palantir or whatever. Even though Palantir is a pain in the butt sometimes because supposedly it can even tell what tree you're hiding under or something like that. That its GPS capabilities are so accurate, and its listening capabilities are so accurate for anybody's phone and stuff like that. So, I mean, NSO, which was the Israeli precursor to Palantir, got banned in the U.S. by Joe Biden, but this Palantir is homegrown, so it's basically the substitute for NSO. Basically, does the same job, and NSO had been supposedly tapping even Joe Biden's phone and Emmanuel Macron's phone, and then of course the phones of activists and journalists in authoritarian countries, Iran, China, etc., and stuff like that. Because this company just wanted to make profit and would sell its technology to the highest bidders and stuff like that. And so there was, I forget what country it was in. I think it might have been in Syria when they finally got rid of Bashar al-Assad. When they went into his compound, they also found compartmentalized listening rooms where people would just 24/7 sit around and listen to everything that was being said around a particular person's cell phone. Yes. So they can turn anyone's cell phone into a microphone, as well as GPSing anyone. Yeah. And now they'll have voice recognition. Go ahead. You might be getting care again.
Yeah. What I'm saying is,
Yeah.
why you didn't make any sense to me, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And under Clinton, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they had to make sure that they got into every TV, cell phone.
I was brushing my teeth with my gum
Yeah.
for hearing.
You know what, Steve? I did hear that as well. Like when I was younger, they had some kind of documentary where they said that corporations were hiding mini cameras inside TVs, radios, any kind of electronic thing you could imagine. Yeah. And supposedly that was also the time people were curious about subliminal messaging in movies and or things you would hear in elevator music.
Right. Well, I honestly think that Y2K was clear that all of it was is to create a way. Now, it didn't have to be always turned on. Most likely, it wasn't always turned on at all. But if they wanted to say, if they Rich was arch spy for some other country.
Oh, yes, very definitely. People are starting to believe that the targeted individuals phenomenon uh, may largely be done by another country because the U.S. denies that they have any such technology like the directed energy weapons. Of course, they could be lying between their teeth, but it could also be that faction of Israel is working with that faction of Russia, is working with that faction of the UAE, is working with that faction of Saudi Arabia. We don't know, but but I mean, you'd have to have like essentially a whole economy, be with pretty much an unlimited budget in order to be able to carry out contract stalking operations just about everywhere in the world.
Right.
Or everywhere
Right.
where
And
America
I
has a
think,
presence.
I think what Clinton did was he made sure that every transmission, TV, radio, computer, had and then to do surveillance, and then once from that point on, that every one of those that was made was out there installed.
What do you think about the idea that it's the end of the age for certain types of power systems, and that the people who belong to those older power systems are panicking and trying to seize power again?
Yeah,
Could be.
yeah.
Eventually, at some point, I think it's going to be a long time coming.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, they thought that all oil reserves were pretty much going to be gone by now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the liver enzymes are gone.
Oh, peak oil. Yeah.
The Tylenol. Maybe not from the Tylenol, but from something.
Richard, do you think you could mute us while you're being seen? I mean, mute yourself while you're being seen.
I'm sorry. I'm okay now.
Yeah. But yeah, we were talking about the peak oil theory and the idea that we would run out of oil in Saudi Arabia. We are dependent on Saudi oil. We made some kind of deal with them exclusively. So basically, we scratch their back and they scratch ours politically. I mean, no matter what they do domestically and no matter what we do domestically, basically.
We do know,
I think we made the deal with Saudi Arabia so that they would accept Israel.
Okay, but you know what happened after 9/11, right? We occupied Iraq, we occupied Afghanistan,
Mm-hmm.
but you know who else we occupied and we still do, and probably forever will? Saudi Arabia. We went in there with our troops, and we basically own Saudi Arabia now. And I think the reason why we did that was, remember that all but like one of the 9/11 attackers were
from Saudi Arabia. Yep. And they were going to try and give the families the right to sue Saudi Arabia because of that. But then I guess the DOJ blocked them from suing Saudi Arabia because it's absolutely imperative that that the U.S. government keep good relations with MBS. Otherwise it could throw the world into chaos, especially the Middle Eastern world. I think that's what they're thinking.
But if we kept the oil that we have and we kept the natural gas that we have, right?
Yeah,
we have all that we need. Really, we have all, especially if we do take over Western Canada, like that they're talking about. Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Yukon, British Columbia, all of those areas.
Well, the reason we're not doing that, is because we want to use their oil, Saudi Arabia's oil, up before we use our own.
I'm telling you, remember that when Biden became president, when the very first thing he did was stop that pipeline, right? The Keystone Pipeline.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that pipeline, if it isn't already, it's going to be active soon. And the chokehold that Ottawa, the federal government of Canada, has on the development of Canadian fuel assets, that is going to be released at some point. If they can't do it by formal annexing of those provinces, it will be done another way. But those people, they said that it's just like New York State. New York State.
But how?
A lot more in taxation. Huh?
But how would they be able to annex it? I mean, would they have to send some kind of charismatic type of person to each of those provinces to convince them to stand down their arms? And are there people on the inside of Canada who are willing to essentially like rebel and help the Americans take that part of Canada?
Well, I know we're all kind of hyper. They have the province government in those areas have started
Richard, could you put yourself on mute if you're still being seen?
I'm not.
Okay,
Okay.
you're okay. Hey Rick, did you hear about Canada? They're having meetings all across the western half of Canada where they want to get rid of government by Ottawa. Even Quebec wants to get rid of Ottawa.
But how do you know that they're with the Trumpists?
Because I'll have to show you.
Did Charlie Kirk set this up? Because I've seen Charlie Kirk debating in Canada before, and he's been telling the Canadians that they're too nice of a people, and they should start cracking down on people who are different from them or whatever, people who won't blend in and hold the the Canadian identity, so to speak. Kind of like what Trump has been saying about like America and stuff like that.
Right, and the English is same, and all these other countries the same. Yeah, I don't think Charlie Kirk. He might have had something to do with it, but and I can't tell you when it started or who was the main actor in it. But I do know that the province government is starting to get tired. They've been tired of the fact that they're sitting on billions and billions of dollars of resources that they're not being allowed to utilize. So they're spending through taxation. They don't mind paying taxes, but they want more for their money. Apparently, it's going to the big cities where they're doing the same thing for migrants that we are doing for migrants, and
wow,
they're not getting that money back. See, they're not getting the money back.
How much money is that actually netting, and how much money is actually going to the common people, to make it worth their while for spending all that money in taxes for doing all that enforcement and basically creating, a Canadian version of ICE and stuff.
Right. I know. It's I've read, there was the prophecies recent, about 20, 30 years ago, that they're wondering who the Antichrist just might be. And they said that he has to be of Jewish background, and he probably is also going to be Muslim. So just because you're born,
Frank Herbert basically predicted that with his Dune novels, because he makes the Kwisatz Haderach also be muad'Dib to the Muslim-like people in the story.
Absolutely. So I believe that could be very well what's happening. If you were the president of the United States back around Clinton, I think you would have been smart enough to if anything, instead of being more liberal with your immigration, be more strict. But no, they what they did was not in America's best interest, and I don't think that they're trying to do America any good in the long run. Their allegiance is to the EU and to China, Russia, and
well, I mean, I keep reading things about people in Britain and other European countries being afraid that they'll be outpopulated by Muslims, and that essentially, well, actually, even Richard has said he thinks that a lot of the Muslims are just acting nice right now, but then when they create an enormous voting bloc, that they would try and people are saying that they would try to put in Sharia councils and stuff like that. They have like over 50 of them in Britain, but the thing is, those are just supposed to be like advisory councils that don't have actually any legal power unless it's done in conjunction with something that's already legal by Britain's laws, like marriage and stuff like that.
You're talking about Sharia court?
Yeah.
Sharia court?
Well, I mean, the thing is, technically, even Jews have halakha courts, but I just didn't think that Muslim Sharia law could be, say, applied to white people,
hold on.
not like non-Muslims.
Hold on a minute.
Yeah, I think Richard fell asleep.
Okay.
Oi, Richard.
Yeah.
I don't have enough information.
What do you mean information?
Oh,
that didn't sound like a well thought out statement, Richard.
It wasn't because I was sort of dreamy, and then I was listening to.
Okay, tell us about the dream. Tell us about the dream.
I don't even remember.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was worried about you there for a second. And I thought, oh my God, you sound like I do when I need my inhaler. But you said that you probably were snoring there a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do snore a lot more now than I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have you ever had a sleep study?
Yeah.
And
It says I have sleep apnea, but I tried the CPAP machine. It doesn't work for me.
have you heard about that thing that's called Inspire?
Yeah, that's.
You can go ahead.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure about that. I don't know too much about it.
I cook my own goose. I don't like the mask over my mouth, right? So I always kind of struggled with that sleep apnea when BiPAP, where you have two different pressures. My breathing, the way I breathe was different from the way the average person breathes because of me having reduced lung function because of the polio.
Wow.
So not my body was affected. See.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I stopped using the BiPAP and I'm just using oxygen. But I think what it's done is it's probably made my my brain age faster and more severely because like I'll be getting my bath. Okay, I have an attendant that gives me my bath, and I will say, hey, Javian, don't forget a certain part of my bath. He said, Steve, we've already done that. So my short-term memory is like gone, some of it, not all of it, but there are days when he says, Steve, you're just broke, like broken, and I laugh. He said, yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
I might be able to just get the kind that goes in your nose. Ever seen that? Richard?
Oh, like cannula? Yeah.
No.
Oh, I'm not stuck because
there's a BiPAP set up that doesn't cover your mouth.
Oh, okay.
It just goes up your nose.
Mm-hmm. I'd rather have it in both.
You want it to be over on both?
I can't stand it just in my mouth and nose.
Really? So, have you ever used CPAP, BiPAP?
Yeah.
Do you like it or no?
I don't. I it doesn't work for me.
He returned it.
How do you know it doesn't work? And what does it feel like?
Because it seems like I'm not getting enough air. I don't know.
I know. Me too. That's the way I felt.
So, and then the thing is they were charging $1,000 a month for that thing. Oh my goodness, it was rented. And now the stupid hospital stay is going to be even more. Oh man.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
Richard was worried that his insurance wasn't going to cover everything. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Anyway, so the whole thing is they, when they had the CPAP machine, I had to keep paying the
copays,
a fee.
Yeah.
And it was adding up and.
Oh, a rental fee, like Rent-A-Center?
No. It's a copay.
Oh, copay, yeah.
From the med surgical company that you get it from. You don't buy it right out. Like same way as a hospital bed, you don't buy it, you rent it free. And after like 10 months, then it's yours. The nice thing about it, as long as you rent it, they'll fix it if something goes bad. But beyond that, not necessarily, they won't do that necessarily. So it's on you. I don't know, Richard, I know you have this worry about stuff that you might have to pay, but unless you have a lot more income or resources than I think you might.
Well, no, I don't want to talk about that right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But I mean, like an allowed amount. I guess. Yeah. Yeah.
Let's just not talk about it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I do believe it's going to work out, though.
You mean because of God?
No,
Not necessarily.
it'll work out. It'll work out somewhere. I don't know.
I just know that
I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about it.
You mean you're just gonna persist or persevere or whatever, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I got to worry about my hopes, not about money, and it doesn't matter.
Right.
No.
It will work out for you.
Yeah.
Well, if it doesn't, if it doesn't, then it doesn't. I'm taking it as is.
Yeah.
We had a situation where my daughter was needing a surgery in the hospital that was like over 2 times her daily rate that my wife had insurance for. Our rate in Lancaster County at that time was $150 a day. Down there, this is like 40 years ago. Down there in Philadelphia, at Children's Hospital was $395 a day. So we had over $2,300. We had $2,300 debt that we weren't sure how we were going to pay. But all it took was us going to the social services office of the hospital, filling out a form. It's called the Hill-Burton Act. Hill.
Well, I don't want to talk about it anymore.
I know. But we walked out of there not owing anything. So one way or another, it's going to work out.
Oh, I don't know. The thing is, I did that for my appendix surgery, but they didn't. I don't know. So I'm not sure where I'm at with stuff now. So and then so I just so as far as the whole thing goes, I'm not going to worry about it.
Yeah.
I don't care really what happens. If it puts me in the poor farm, I'm not going to worry about it.
What is a poor farm?
Poor farm. No, poor.
Like a nurse, it's a place where people that can't pay their bills go, I guess.
Oh, okay. But the thing is, he technically can't go outside of the county unless he moves to another county first on his own dime. That's what they said, when I tried to call Senior Life for him. And because Senior Life only takes care of Berks County. So each group of services is only contracted with the county that they reside in.
So Richard was involved with senior care?
Yeah, but I don't know if I like what they do. I
was going to get involved with them, but I already had a family who were dependent on that income that they were getting from the state. And if I would go to senior care, they would come pick me up, take me to their place. I'd be there basically most of the day and come back at night after, I guess, supper. And that would be that. That would be my routine. And
Richard, did Paul Brown contact you about that too?
What?
I'm sorry?
Well, there was supposed to be a friend of mine that Richard had met a while ago that was supposed to call him regarding Senior Life or comprehensive senior benefits.
Yeah. I think you told me about it, or he did. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think you talked about it. I think you talked about it with me.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what is the difference between comprehensive senior benefits and a Medicaid waiver? Just out of curiosity.
I have no
It's,
idea.
you get less than a Medicaid waiver,
Hmm.
but I don't need all of that stuff. I just need,
Hmm.
I need something to help me until I either help me forever or until I recuperate. I don't know what's going to happen. So,
What do you mean help you? You're not talking about financial help, right? You're talking about like bodily help of some sort, right?
yeah, bodily help.
Uh, well, what were you looking for that neither the comprehensive care nor the Medicaid waiver would provide? Just out of curiosity.
I'm just looking for physical therapy and home physical therapy and home health aides.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I could get one that actually worked though.
Mm-hmm. Someone you could
When you
trust,
had
yeah.
one before, when you had a day before, you said it didn't work.
Well, he had all sucky
Well, they
ones,
weren't.
and one of his aides was Valerie, and another one was Savannah, and they both took advantage of him. Although Valerie didn't do anywhere near as much as Savannah in taking advantage
Yeah,
of him.
you like borrowing money and stuff, stealing stuff, that kind of thing. Is that how they took advantage of you, Robert? Or Richard?
Oh,
Well, yeah, but I don't want to get into that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So Richard, you never actually told him about it. Okay, all right. I'm so
No, I
sorry.
don't
Yeah.
need to tell him about it. He
Okay.
doesn't
Yeah.
have to know.
Uh huh.
That's going to get me into more trouble, and I
Mhm.
don't want to be. That's going to be in more trouble.
Yeah.
That's I'm going to be in a lot of trouble if I get
Well, I
into
mean,
that.
somebody. It's just that somebody who I had talked to on your behalf was concerned that you were not talking much about you, that you were only talking about that woman in Philadelphia area. You know.
Don't talk about it. I, I told you I don't want to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Chris, just let it go, okay?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Sorry, I don't mean to be, getting excited, but I have to. I just know when to talk about things and when not
Mm-hmm.
to.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to go on, Chris, and research something we've talked about already tonight, directed energy weapons. You put
Yeah.
direct DEW weapons in the search on YouTube, you'll be shocked.
Well,
There's an awful lot in
I've
there.
I've read a lot about those from the targeted individuals groups because I myself have been targeted over the years, and of course, it doesn't stop, and it's very invasive, and it's hard to describe without being pathologized and stuff like that. Um, and of course, my GP who I went to see like yesterday or the day before yesterday, he was trying to put me on the you know the psychiatric drug pendulum again. Oh, you're going too far one way. We have to reduce your dopamine, or you're going too far the other way. We have to increase your serotonin, or blah blah
Right.
blah blah. All this kind of stuff,
And,
and it's like the blind leading the blind. They have no idea what they're doing most of the time, and like if a psychiatrist has a particular political bias, they're more likely to basically uh well, not necessarily even political bias, but like if they're basically bought out by the pharmaceutical companies, if all of their
uh-huh.
reliable scientific information, comes from pharmaceutical companies sponsoring a medical school course and stuff like that, well, of course they're going to be biased, but they can't possibly know that they're biased. Otherwise, it wouldn't make them, prescribe like crazy. But the other thing is, all psychiatrists really do is prescribe medications, and the only reason why you need their expertise is because the medications are actually pretty dangerous, when you take them in the long
Right.
run. And you have to get all these blood tests to show that it's not, toxic to your body, and that, or that it doesn't affect your health in some other way, like increasing your liver cholesterol or something like that, you know.
Uh huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to be in a doctor's office
Hmm.
around 11ish, 12ish,
Hmm.
and they would shut down for like an hour from
Hmm.
like 12 to 1. And just before 12 came, people with suits and satchels would come in, and they were the drug salespeople,
Hmm.
and they would basically bring in a meal
Hmm.
for the staff, and
Oh,
they would
yeah. They
uh,
disallow that at
let
polling
them know.
places. It biases your brain chemically. Yeah. The freebies.
Yeah, so a lot of these people were being biased by these new medications that probably weren't that well researched. I mean, look all the problems they had.
Oh, what's happening with the phone? I can't hear anything.
Yeah.
Oh, something's happening with the phone.
Yeah. Yeah. I think he's getting away from his phone. Yeah. I can barely hear anything.
Oh, who? Me?
Me?
Yeah. Yeah. No, no, no. Not you, Richard. I mean, Steve. We
Oh,
could barely hear you, Steve.
yeah. I laid back. Sorry about that.
Oh, okay.
I'm back.
Okay. So what were you saying again? Yeah, you were in a
They have
doctor's
a
office,
weapon
and
now that
yeah, okay.
it's a sonic weapon
Yeah.
used for crowd control.
Oh, yes,
You turn it
yes.
on, and then the
Long
people
range
can't stand
acoustic
it, and
device. I think they might have showed a
right, yeah,
photograph of that in
right.
the Zeitgeist movie, the first one. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it says in the Bible that the more we know, and the more sorrow we have, because there's so much bad that is out there. You can't help but get overwhelmed sometimes with stuff.
Did they ever develop that thing where like if they were fighting, say, Muslim terrorists, they were able to project supposedly what sounded like the voice of God into their mind, saying, "Hey, this is Allah. Drop your weapons. The war is over. Give up. Blah blah blah." Something like that.
Well, I do know that from what I've been since since I started talking to them about the DEW weapons,
Hmm.
I noticed that there are ways to target people and different ways to do that. And
Well,
one is
I've
with
heard of
pain,
people
one is
getting like limerence energy fired at them, so that they feel like they're getting like an orgasm right in the middle of whatever they're working on and stuff like that, just randomly throughout the day and stuff like that. And there doesn't seem to be any
really wow.
particular rhyme or reason as to who is targeted, and who gets the more in depth targeting. Um, yeah. But there was this novel in the form of a PDF that I found of this Australian lady who claimed that all of the agencies of the Five Eyes were compromised by these Nazi Satanists, and that she had actually, when she was young, been like chemically brainwashed and hypnotized by Dr. Joseph Mengele himself, and throughout years of counseling, like EMDR and stuff like that, she was able to retrieve memories of what the place looked like. She drew sketches and stuff like that for the psychologists, of what these secret labs looked like. and
Uh-huh.
and essentially being subject to the kind of stalking that that the targeted individuals are subject to, and also the denial of doing such through those same people accusing the victims of this stalking of doing the same thing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, you were talking about
Mhm.
conspiracies
Mhm.
of the Russian, the Chinese, Japan,
Mhm.
United States,
Mhm.
and the
Yeah.
Arabs, whatever. Well, I
Well,
do believe that happens
yeah. Well,
because there's only two types of people in the
mhm.
world. There's either people
Mhm.
that are directed by the spirit, or people being directed by the spirit of the devil.
Yep, you got it.
And no
And
matter
Mark
what
Passio
they're
would agree with you. He was saying there are just so many de facto Satanists like scattered throughout every organization, every nation. You can't really nail it down to one people or one religion or anything like it because they've infiltrated everything, and now they're essentially being let loose with their agenda and their esoteric mind control abilities. Um, just because people do not have access to this sort of knowledge to protect themselves because it's occulted or hidden from the average person. They don't believe that the average person is capable of handling this sort of information and disciplining themselves like those people do. However, they use their discipline to basically take control of the world by taking control of like their local communities
I'm
or other
getting a
spheres of influence.
hey Chris, I'm getting a phone call from someone that we haven't talked to in a long time. I got to go. Okay.
Okay, all right, sounds good.
Okay.
Yep.
God bless you guys.
All
Merry
right. Yep.
Christmas.
Thank you. You too.
Interesting.
Mhm. Oh wow, he has hold music. That's wild.
You had one?
I said he
What was
has
it?
hold music. Hold music.
Uh,
Or like
yeah, yeah.
when the call is being transferred. You know. Um. Yeah, that's pretty wild.
Who has that up? Me or you or?
No. He does. Steve
Oh,
does.
that's me.
Oh, that's you.
No, I didn't say it was me. It's neat. I said.
Oh, it's neat. Okay, yeah. So the thing is he off the line completely then?
No, I had to choose to jump off the lines.
Oh, oh no, wait a minute. Why don't you keep him on to see if he'll come back on when he's done that other call?
No, it's all right.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
But this was a
we can
really
always
good
call him back.
conversation. Yeah. Yeah, you can always call him back later, or
Pardon?
he can always call you back later. Whatever. Do you usually call him or does he call you?
He called me. I don't.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I could call him, but I don't know.
Yeah, you don't necessarily
Something
feel
about
like
it.
it. Are you still feeling pretty tired?
No, well, yeah, but I mean, somehow I don't like his voice. I don't know. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. Well, didn't you say he was gay?
No, not he's. I don't think he's married,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't. He might be gay. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you could describe the feeling of the sound of his voice, does it, if you could characterize it in a phrase, what do you think the voice is saying to you separate from the words that he's using?
Um. Um. Well,
Is the voice saying, I don't trust you, or I think you're less than me, or uh, something more like, um, I know a lot of things and I don't think you know much. Do you think that that voice
Valerie
is
called
saying
me
that kind
back,
of
but
thing? Do you think?
Valerie called me back, but she said, "Oh, I know her, but she got your name wrong."
Oh, Benita? You solo said Benita.
Yeah, I did say Benita.
Wait a minute. You're being visited?
No,
Okay, but you know this person.
Yeah.
I know Valerie, and she knows. Valerie knows Benita, and Benita knows her.
Okay, so this Benita happens to be your nurse now?
No, she's I mean,
Yes, she's an aide. Okay, why couldn't you say that before? Why'd I have to give you something that sounded absurd before you gave the correct answer? Oh well, anyway.
well, I don't know.
So are you busy now or
Oh yeah, that's good.